Good Wednesday to you. I hope that you are doing well and that our God is blessing you far beyond what you can see this very day. This is after the sermon, and actually, this is kind of the last of these as we go through the book of Genesis. And I really wish that we could have spent more time in Genesis. Genesis is just jam packed full of good things that helps us to know our God. And it's interesting the people that God invites us to learn more about in the book of Genesis. And of course, partly the reason I was doing Genesis and going through Genesis was to help our kids as they are preparing for LTC. Well, LTC happens here in just a few days. We're going to be going to Dallas and enjoy that time with brothers and sisters from different parts of the country and especially the state as well. And so we look forward to that. But in doing that, I basically finished Genesis this past Sunday. And when I say basically finished Genesis, the last couple of weeks I've had to do several chapters at the same time and skip chapters as well. That's why I'm like, I wish I could spend more time. I could easily spend a whole year preaching through the book of Genesis. So here's one last thought I want to leave with us as we think about Genesis. And it happens in the very last part of Genesis. Of course, one of the greatest things that we learn in Genesis is God's providence, how God provides for us. And we especially saw that in the life of Joseph, in his narrative. And of course, when we come to the part where his brothers come to him and he makes himself known to them, it's almost like it dawns on Joseph, wait a minute, everything that's happened to me, everything that has been done, it's because of God. It's because of his will. He's been doing this for a purpose. He put me here for a purpose. And he reassures his brothers that, okay, there's not going to be any ill will towards you. It wasn't you, it was God. And as you get to the last of Genesis, of course, Jacob passes away. And of course, they travel back and bury him. And after he is buried, then the brothers, it seems like they start to worry again. Uh-oh, dad's not here to protect us against Joseph. Now Joseph can do whatever he wants to us. And we find in chapter 15, verse 20, this is what Joseph says to his brothers. As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today. So do not fear. I will provide for you and your little ones. Thus he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. Even though his brothers maybe didn't fully take hold of the concept of God's providence and that it was really God that was in control of everything that happened in Joseph's life, Joseph did. And that's one of the most amazing things to me is how Joseph realized that and how that affected his faith. Because when we go down to verse 22, it says, so Joseph remained in Egypt, he and his father's house. Joseph lived 110 years, and Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation. The children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were counted as Joseph's own. And Joseph said to his brothers, I am about to die, but God will visit you and bring you up out of this land to the land that he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Then Joseph made the sons of Israel swear, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones from here. So Joseph died, being 110 years old. They embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. And here's the thing that sticks out to me is the faith that Joseph has in the promises of God. Notice what he reminds his brothers. He says, you're going to leave. Now, not them and not their children or even their grandchildren, but their generations on down the line. They're not going to stay in Egypt forever. Well, they're going to go to the land that was promised to them by Yahweh, by God, the promise that he made to Abraham, to Isaac, and to their father, Jacob, as well. And here's how confident Joseph is in this. He says, when that happens, swear to me that you will take my bones from here and carry them there. Isn't that amazing? Even though that wouldn't happen for hundreds of years, Joseph was so confident. He doesn't say, if it happens, do this. He says, when it happens, do this. This is my faith that God keeps his promises. And so there's the question for us. Do we have that kind of faith in our God? Where we believe in our hearts and in our minds, in our very being, that if God says it, it will happen. No matter what. No matter how the world might look at us, they might laugh and they might say that is foolish. No, if God says it, it will happen. So let's take faith in that. Our God is a God who keeps his promises. And I think that's one of the main things that we can get from the book of Genesis is our God is a covenant God and he keeps his end. He keeps his promises. I hope you have a great rest of this week. Don't forget God loves you. So do I. God willing, I'm not sure we'll do this next week, but God willing, we will the following week for sure. And we'll see what's in store for after the sermon then. God bless.